Jadív Gillier, is mise an talú pól ó dochartaí, uachtar an inid agus meoran í na hallscoile seo, agus is cúis aithí sé dú fáilte chorómh ar an lá spéisialta seo. Táid an seo nniu chun céileadú poiblí dhéanú ar a gceist acadúla tá déan agah i gceanmar gcuid cuasaí léon na cúpla bliain nuas. Lá mór a bhéalar in na hallscoile atá, agus ácaid níos mó agus níos tábhachtaí arís do mór saoil féin. Go maiir is bhfuair géimeachtúr, agus cíam gachrá armh sa téile tá romh amach mar chéimithe de chuid Ollscoil na hÉireann Gaillimh. My name is Professor Paul O'Doherty, Deputy President and Registrar of this university, and on behalf of National University of Ireland Galway, I want to extend to you all a very warm welcome to this conferring ceremony. To you, the graduates, I say that in awarding these degrees today, we are publicly acknowledging and paying tribute to your intelligence, hard work, and dedication to the course of studies that has brought you to this point. The honour conferred on you today represents an important milestone in what I hope will be distinguished, fulfilling, and rewarding lives and careers. And it is right and proper that that achievement is shared and celebrated with your families and the academic community generally, all of whom have contributed in a variety of ways to this, your academic success. This formal occasion is an appropriate celebration of that success, involving, as it does, the special robes and the use of Latin, English, and Irish. This kind of ceremony is a tradition that spans many centuries. It goes all the way back to the first university in Ireland, established in Dublin in 1320, though it no longer exists, and has continued through to the present, with Ireland's most recent universities created within the past year. This university was originally one of 3 Queen's Colleges established in 1845 in Belfast, Cork, and Galway. The first students were registered in 1849. From its very beginnings as Queen's College Galway, this university has been about ensuring that those who pass through here as students, wherever they make their future afterwards, go out into the wide world equipped with the best education that they can get and that we can give them. The word university comes in shortened form from the Latin Universitas Magistrorum et Scholarium, which translates as a community of teachers and scholars. And that notion of community is something we continue to cherish here. Our staff work tirelessly to bring the best of education and the best of postgraduate supervision into play, so that our students, when they face the world in a new competitive environment, can hold their heads high knowing that they join an outstanding group of people, Galway graduates, among whose numbers are to be found many of the most illustrious figures in Irish civic, political, business, and cultural life. After today's ceremony, you, the graduates, will take your place in that group, and it is my fervent hope that you will do so with pride. Latin was originally the working language of the universities, and as a link to the past, we still use the language in the conferring ceremony. In the Latin formula of words used in your parchments, 2 things are confirmed publicly by the university: the academic quality of your award, and the moral character of you as graduands. I hope that as you go through the rest of your lives as Galway graduates, you will remember and strive to uphold both of those characteristics. I would now like to introduce you to the various people who are central to this ceremony. The president of NUI Galway, Professor Ciarán O'Hogarty, presides over this ceremony, and he is joined by Professor Rebecca Braun, Dean of the College of Arts, Social Sciences and Celtic Studies, who will present candidates to the President, and Ms. Caroline Kennedy, Administration and Planning Officer in the College of Arts, Social Sciences and Celtic Studies, who will open and close the formal part of the ceremony. I now hand over to Ms. Kennedy, who will open the formal proceedings in Latin.
Pro honorabilis prizes totaque universitas, hae comitia universitaria hodia convocata sunt, od quidum homines ad gradas academicus admentator. Eosiasque praesentabit Professor Rebecca Braun.
Pro honorabilis prizes totaque universitas, College of Arts, Social Sciences and Celtic Studies. Doctor of Philosophy, PhD, Arts, Humanities and Social Sciences. Presento vobis hasse meas filias filiosque meos, quas omnes sio tam moribus, quam doctrina habiles, et idonius esse, que admittantur ad gradum doctoratus philosophiae. Itque tibi fide mea testor expondeo, totique academiae.
Ego authoritate mihi concessa, admit vos ad gradum doctoratus philosophiae.
Frances Catherine Carter. Frances Carter is awarded a PhD in Geography for research supervised by Dr. Valerie Ledwith on the reworking strategies of Irish migrants in Dubai. Maria Hallinan. Maria Hallinan is awarded a PhD in Old and Middle Irish for research supervised by Dr. Clodagh Downey on the status of the lay grades in early medieval Ireland, the Seanachas Mar Status Tract. Orla Michelle Kelly. Orla Kelly is awarded a PhD in Education for research supervised by Dr. Tony Hall and Dr. Cornelia Connolly on design-based research to develop innovative blended learning to enhance accounting education at tertiary level. Konrad Johannes Metzger. Konrad is awarded a PhD in Geography for research supervised by Dr. Xiaosheng Zhang and Dr. Karen Daly on the feasibility of mid-infrared spectral models to predict soil chemical parameters for precision fertilizer applications. Melinda Sutz. Melinda Sutz is awarded a PhD in Drama and Theatre for research supervised by Professor Patrick Lonergan on the dramaturgical analysis and practice-based exploration of William Butler Yeats's dance plays. Mary Geraldine Thompson. Mary Thompson is awarded a PhD in German for research supervised by Professor Hans-Walter Schmidt-Hannesa on the representation of Ireland 1973 to 2010 in German newspapers and non-fictional texts. Doctor of Philosophy, PhD, Philosophy of Art and Culture. Rachel Ann Coventry. Rachel Coventry is awarded a PhD in Philosophy for research supervised by Professor Felix Conur O'Murahu on poetry in the digital age, analysed through the philosophy of technology of Martin Heidegger. Honours Bachelor of Arts. Presento vobis hasse meas filias filiosco meos, quas omnes sio tam moribus quam doctrina habiles et idonios esse qui admittantur ad gradum baccalaureatus in artibus honoro curso confecto. Idque tibi fide mea testor expondeo, totique academiae.
Ego authoritate mihi concessa, admit vos ad gradum baccalaureatus in artibus honoro curso confecto.
Oisin Ahern. Jennifer Adanea Akachukwu. Riham Alsabaga. Ama Prinsilla Kesewa Amponsa. Paul Aragon. Hannah Banks. Alexander Byron Bardini. Olivia Berna. Adrian Benson. Radoslav Christoph Berendt. Alexander Christopher Bruce Blake. Alana Bly. Michael Bolton. Olivia Rose Bonner. Darren Boylan. Heather Boyle. Emily Fiona Bradley. Amy Marie Broderick. Ivan Brown. Kaylin Brown. Hannah Bryant. Sheila Nassa Burbage. Aaron Burke. Kathy Burke. Kevin Thomas Burke. Liam Burke. Michael Patrick Burke. Rory Christopher Burke. Jessica Burt. Circa Byrne. Helen Cahill. Rachel Callahan. Chloe Callanan. Dylan Paul Campbell. Darren Candy. Gavin Carberry. Alexander Carey. Ross Carney. Nikita Carraher, Damien Gerard Carter, Sheena Rose Casey, Michal Shalecki, Zihu Chen, Eva Clayton, Laura May Cleary, Emer Cloher, Amy Coffey O'Brien, Louise Connaughton, Dara Conneely, Tommy Conneely, Declan Connolly, Dylan Connolly, Max Connolly, Rachel Connolly, Rachel Connolly, Saoirse Connolly, James Connor, Rebecca Cook, Oisin Cooley, Tara Billy Copley, Rebecca Corcoran, Matthew Corrigan, Azura Zoya Cosentino, Porrig Martin Costello, James Costello, Erica Cowan, Ruth Cox, Adam Patrick Creven, Adele Helena Cronin, Niall Cronin, Kevin Crowley, Laura Crowley, Aisling Cunningham, Shania Cunningham, Aoife Joy Cusack, Niamh Ann Cusack, Katie Daly, Chelsea David, Oisin Davis, Colm de Butler, Sophie Deehan, Sean Delaney, Eamon Devenny, Orla Devlin, Paul Devlin, Grace Dill, Daniel Doherty, Amy Donnelly, Orla Donnelly, Sharon Donoghue, Ali Dugan, Jamie Dooley, Connor James Duane Bantic, Tara Jane Duffy, Sophie Mary Duggan, Emily Duncan, Reeve Earls, Jane Angelica Egan, Liam Joseph English, Dermot Farrell, Paddy Fearick, Dana Finn, Lauren Fitzpatrick, Hannah Flaherty, Oisin Flaherty, Shauna Flanagan, David Flannery, Paddy Lorcan Flavin, Megan Fleming, Sorcha Fletcher, Gemma Foodie, Dan Joseph Foster, Mary Elzette Foster, Sophie Frawley, Sinead Freehan, Cian Fusco, Lisa Marie Gainley, Con Gallagher, Michelle Sakura Gallagher, Roisin Gallagher, Louise Galligan, Alacock Ganley, Anthony Patrick Garvey, David Geraghty, Rebecca Gibbons, Sylvia Gigante, Joshua Gillen, Luke Gillen, Chloe Gilmore Miskell, Denise Marie Gormley, James Alexander Grady, Michael Grant, Rebecca Grant, Aina Greeley, Eileen Graney, Rebecca Graney, Esther Greenfield, John Grennan, Ronan Griffin, Marcel Gutowski, Sophie Gray Hall, Roisin Marie Halloran, Ciara Louise Hamilton, Leanne Hannon, Robert Hardiman, Chloe Harahy, Sinead Hart, Michael Healy, Margaret Heather Hinu, Sinead Lorraine Heffernan, Honor Hennelly, Michelle Hennelly, Jade Ellen Henry, Cian Sean James Herity, Sean James Hetherington, James Hill, Aoife Hoey, Richard Jack Hogan, Alana Hurley Sweeney, Athene Hines, Miskana Iasu Melke, Pierce Thomas Jennings, Michal Jurek, Cahill Brendan Kane, Rebecca Rose Kavanagh, Georgina Kavanagh Sinnott, Terry Keane, Ryan Kearney, Shifra Keary, Sive Keating, Sarah Louise Keatley, Philip Keegan, Andrew Keenan, Aaron Kelly, Aoife Marie Kelly, Chloe Kelly, Jane Kelly, Jordan Kelly, Laura Kelly, Lisa Kelly, Maeve Kelly, Mary Kelly, Michelle Kelly, Sean Kelly, Jack Kennedy, Owen Kennedy, Tara Marie Kennedy, Desmond Owen Euro Kenny, Emma Kenny, Rachel Kerrigan, Crona Kildun, Maeve Kilaki, Cayman Stanley Killeen, Clodagh Bernadette Killian, Louise Emily Kinevi, Sharon Wangui Koinange, Samira Kovachikova, Evelina Maria Lach, Laura Lahine, Tara Lally, Anna Catherine Ledbury, Daniel John Lee, Rory Oliver Lewis, Jade Liddy, Evan Liu, Avril Lohan, John Lowry, Anna Louise Lydon, David Lynch, Kelly Lynch, James Lyons, Ruan McCurtain, Micheál McIolawan, Lauren Mackie Mullally, Struan McLeod, Niamh Maguire, Mariam Mahmood, Lisa Ann Malee, Gerard Joseph Mangan, Rachel Mangan, Ellen Katrina Mannion, Aaron Mannion Edwards, Serica Marnell, David Charles Massey, Oisin McAndrew, Amy McCafferty, Erin McCafferty, Kelly McCall, Claire McCarran, Gwen McCarthy, Niall Martin McCarthy, Keelan McCall, Roisin McCullum, Claudia Kelly McCormack, Ian McCormack, Megan McCrainer, Aria McDade, Katie McDonough, Niamh McDonough, Blahin McDonough Sharkey, Elliot McDonnell, Stephen McDonnell, David John McAvoy, Maeve Anya McAvoy, Gearóid Thomas McCann, Conor McGee, Hannah McGinley, James Patrick McGovern, Jonathan Mark McGovern, Roisin Mora McGovern, Amy McGrath, Matthew McLaughlin, Patrick McLaughlin, Luke McMahon, Joshua McMillan, Emer McNally, Laura McSherry, Timothy McSweeney, Callum Mitchell, Grania Malloy, Kelly Marie Malloy, Thomas Malloy, Jonathan Maloney, Cian Moore, Sheena Muradi, Muirna Moran, Claire Moyles, Amy Catherine Mulkeen, Luke Malee, Dara James Mullery Granville, Killian Redmond Murphy, Elizabeth Murphy, Sarah Murphy, Thomas Murphy, Oisin Cameron Murphy Middleton, Maria Catherine Murray, Olivia Murray, Joshua Murtagh, Cathal Richard Nagel, Moya Rose Neary, Sean Patricia Neeland, Aideen Elizabeth Nigonal, Leodán Nigonacha, Carrie Nichols, Mercy Nato, Eilish O'Boyle, Anya O'Brien, Arthur Aaron O'Brien, Maeve O'Callaghan, Macdara O'Culloin, Avril Ruth Bridget O'Connell. Erica O'Connor. Francis Michael O'Connor. Orla Maeve O'Connor. Patrick Joseph O'Connor. Patrick O'Connor. Jack O'Donnell. Heather O'Dowd. Jack O'Dowd. Rachel O'Dowd. Erin O'Driscoll. David O'Duvda. Louise O'Grady. Catherine O'Hare. Katie Anna O'Keefe. Paul O'Loughlin. Frank Evan O'Mahony. Orla O'Mahony. Anna O'Mahony Sinnott. Lauren Marie O'Malley. Rebecca O'Malley. Callum O'Neill. Alicia O'Regan. Oisin O'Reilly. Aoife O'Shaughnessy. Anthony O'Sullivan. Ben David John O'Sullivan. Brian O'Sullivan. Grace O'Sullivan. Megan Abigail O'Sullivan. Sinead O'Sullivan. Saoirse O'Toole. Grace Nosukare Osifo. Tom Ostheimer. Ozan Oskan. Lisa Parker. Shane Parle. Harry Pembroke. Jessica Pereira. Anna Pernice. Dara Perry. Shannon Powell. Nisha Michelle Purcell. Annie Quinlan. Connor Quinn. Emma Quinn. Fancha Katie Laura Quinn. Shanna Quinn. Evan Reen. Katie Reen. Keena Reedy. Kevin James Reedy. Mary Reedy. Amy Reynolds. Dara Rickard. Ciara Rouse. Paul Rowan. Rebecca Rowan. Emma Ruddy. Roisin Rush. Elaine Russell. Amy Claire Ryan. Caroline Ryan. Cathal Ryan. Ciara Ryan. Jack Ryan. Sarah Antoinette Ryan. Kenesha Marie Ryder. Claire Salmon. Kathleen Salmon. Claire Sampe. Sarah Katerina Schmidt-Bleek. Owen Scott. Matthew Scully. Federica Scaggio. Roisin Gerarda Sheehan. Jason Sherlock. Eve Shields. Christopher Mark Skiba. Jack Alistair Geronimo Smeaton. Molly Smith. Niamh Smith, Eve Stanley Durning, Michal Saidor, Leanne Taylor, Chloe Thackerberry, Simon Joseph Thomas, Orla Timon, Leah Tobin, Dane Travers, Laura Tracy, Lauren Lucy Tracy, Sean Tracy, Tara Hannah Tracy, Ellen Mary Toohey, Leah Alison Turner, Rachel Turner, David John Upton, Mabagansuara Tiffany Uwatse, Aoife Rose Valentine, Davidas Villis, Elizabeth Walker, Blanid Walsh, James Walsh, Matthew Walsh, Megan Walsh, Shauna Walsh, Aidan Michael Ward, Darren Joseph Ward, Martin Gerard Ward, Scott Brandon Weir, Selena Whelan, Rebecca Williams, Keelan Winter, Shane Wolfe, Mega Tsu, Jakob Christoph Tsarsicki.
Pre honorabilis prizes, caermoniis rita confectus, finum caeso facus huius, convocationis universitariae.
Congratulations to the class of 2021 on graduating today, especially during what has been a very unique and difficult year for everyone. The fact that you've not only been able to continue your education, but to graduate as well, is an absolute testament to you, and it shows how your hard work and dedication has paid off, and I'm truly honoured to be able to be a part of such a special event. I know it isn't the graduation you had envisioned when you first arrived at NUI Galway, but life can throw all sorts of challenges at you, and today proves that you have the motivation and determination to succeed in anything that you desire, and you should take confidence in that going forward. As I'm sure your families and loved ones are incredibly proud of you and what you have achieved, you should be incredibly proud of yourselves and in your resilience in the face of adversity. Take a moment to appreciate just how far you have come. It has been a roller coaster of a year for everyone, myself included, and if I could take anything from my experiences and journey and share it with all of you, it would be to never say never. You never know what the future may hold, but as long as you take every opportunity with courage and with kindness, you will far surpass your expectations on yourself. 2 years ago, I didn't think I'd be where I am today, but with the help of NUI Galway, amongst many, many others, I've been able to achieve something I once thought was impossible. I hope the relationships you've made in university will also guide you to many open doors and to a bright future. Don't forget to take a moment to realise and appreciate the friendships and relationships you have made over the last several years. These are the people who have helped you become the person you are today, and these are the friendships that will hopefully last a lifetime. Celebrate the milestone that is today, have fun, and be safe. Today is for you, so I'd like to raise a virtual toast, and in my case, I'd like to raise this medal to all of you. Congratulations, class of 2021, and I wish you all the best in everything that you choose to do in life. Thank you.
So her County School here in Galliv, we're up through the whole school Gwyn Cogordicus are really congratulations to you all, and we're really sorry that we can't meet in person for this very important day for you, for your supporters, for all your friends, relations and fans, and we hope to have another event on campus when times are better and when the context of COVID permits to celebrate with you. So we are really disappointed on the one hand today, but also celebrating, and we hope you do find it as a day of celebration of a remarkable group of graduates, and after a remarkable year and a remarkable academic experience at NUI Galway. I'm always reminded these days of the words of Seamus Heaney when he said to his students when he was teaching in Dublin, we are here to develop your capacities. Your destinies are your own. And I think today we mark that sense of a turning point in our lives, and in your lives in particular, that turning point that we all remember as graduates, when we hope that we have, for you, developed your capacities. And now as we look ahead, your destinies are your own. And in the context of developing capacities, I was particularly pleased that we could welcome Fiona Murta to speak to you today, an Olympian of great historical achievement from our university, from our community, from our parishes and our neighbourhoods in Galway. And we're particularly proud of Fiona's achievements with the rowing team at the Olympics. And I hope that you found her words both inspirational and encouraging to you. We wanted to mark the occasion with something special. Fiona did something special at the Olympics, and she also did something special for us today by speaking to you. And looking back, I hope on your experience at NUI Galway, which we hope you found enriching, we know you found challenging. We think back on the values of the university and the values which you yourselves as students and as our students at the time when we developed our strategy set out for us as challenges and opportunities. One of the most important of those for you as students was the value of sustainability. And sustainability often seen quite rightly in the context of environmental sustainability, but also I think in the context of resilience, being able to sustain ourselves and our community. And we did this through this year. You did this through this year for yourselves and for each other. And you can be rightly proud of your resilience, your agility. I'm sure it was very challenging at times, very lonely at times, but you deserve great credit for the work that you did in the context of COVID-19, for working with us in coming through this academic year, the most challenging in the university's history. And we'd like to thank you for that particularly exceptional work that you did. You are exceptional graduates as a consequence. You're also excellent graduates, and that sense of excellence that we have in the context of high standards means a lot more than just what you learned, but how you learned. And those high standards, that process, that agility, that ability to change, that ability to cope, will also be something that will stand to you in future years. And even though this was a really difficult year, a year when the learning experience was very different, we know at the same time that it was a very valuable learning experience for you and for us. And again, we thank you for that. And we wish you the best in the context of that adaptability that you may not realize you have learned, but we know you have in the context of the year that has just passed. Thirdly, that sense of openness that we had and that we have to the world. And again, in the context of COVID-19, we know that we've always said, and we know now the university has no walls. And you are now the graduates that will go into the world. You are our openness to the world. You are the people that will represent NUI Galway, but most importantly will represent yourselves in the world. And again, that is a particularly important part of today for us, that we recognise that we are now, tá mi a scuil live must mean live, amach ar down war, agus tá mi de sulga meg shivan dul leis an taobh sinnde agus vesa down and níos fearr tuis go raibh shivan seo an gáilibh na mar bhí ribh ré. And then finally, in the context of that sense of openness and that sense of pride in ourselves and openness to the world, there's that value of respect that is particularly important to us all. And again, this year we learned respect. We learned respect for the context in which we live, the communities in which we live. We learned respect for the evidence in both the literature and the science and in the laboratory. And that sense of change that brought to us and the benefits that that sense of respect for evidence, scientific evidence, brought for us in the context of coping with and coming through COVID-19. But I hope also we learned a sense of respect for that broader sense of community, that people think we might go back to normal, and in some ways we will. But I hope in other ways that we don't, that we come out of COVID-19 as different people, better people, who respect that sense of community, that sense that although we were isolated, we were together. We found that importance of being together. That sense that even though we weren't on campus, it was important that if we could, we would. And that sense, finally, of respect for ourselves, for that sense of self-confidence that I hope it brings, that we have come through this together, and that in very challenging times we were challenged. And I have great respect for you, our students, great respect for those around you who supported you, great respect for our staff and colleagues who worked so diligently to support you throughout this year. But most of all, great respect for you today, our graduates, and now our graduates who came through this very challenging year. You deserve great credit. It's been an exceptional year, and you are exceptional graduates. And we thank you, Gormina Mahagav, Asok dan Blina Kashivling, and Tom Nablinta Kashivling, Akamblin Shakacha Akahara. And finally, I wish you well. I wish all of those who are with you today, even though we can't gather, hope we're together in spirit. Those who are all with you today, we know that for our students, there are good times and bad times. And there are people who support them in happiness and in joy, in delight and in sadness. And we really appreciate all those around you as our graduates who supported you, and I'm sure you do too. And whether you're together with those people today or whether you're together collectively today, I think it is a good time to reflect on the gratitude we have for those around us who sustained us through this time, and to also give that sense of respect that we have for each other as a consequence of the year we've just had. It's been a particularly challenging year. Year blina bhí an dúlánach doing, agus Tommy Breakdív as an obrienshiv ling, agus Dave Hain in the blina show. This is your achievement today. You deserve great credit for it, and thank you for it. And I'll mention at the end something we mentioned when we launched the strategy. We used the poetry of Martin O'Deron on Tarek here, a poem that's very well liked throughout our not only in our own community but throughout Ireland. And he mentions in that poem on Curric Lán Éisce Tac Concladic. And I think today this is one of those days as a university when we gather. Unfortunately, we gather virtually, but we do gather together to recognise Gwyl Curric Lán Éisce Tac Concladic. There is great potential here coming home, coming to fruition. And this is your potential. This is your capacity that we hope you have developed and we have helped develop with you. Your destiny is now your own. The Curric Lán Éisce Tac Concladic, Sulgan Meg Tauki Mahagriv Dave Hain, the Vorgoluder, den Tucky an Hain, agus Gmeg La Mahagriv Freshen, agus Shiva Kalura, and La Hawk Shaw. Níl sé comá mar bheith sé de gná agus míad le chéile ach tá sulgaí mar sin hain go méid lá maithagah tá Curric Lán Éisce seo ag Tac Concladic. We have developed your capacities, your destinies are now your own. Gurmí Maithagah, thank you very much.
That concludes the conferring ceremony, but before you go, I would ask you to join me in thanking those people whose hard work and professionalism ensure that a ceremony such as this runs smoothly, and in particular the conferring team and academic registry. In addition, let me thank staff from the President's Office, administrative staff from the college and school offices, audiovisual staff from the Centre for Excellence in Learning and Teaching, the Marketing and Communications Office, and Chervish Ashtafan, and a special thanks to Dave Brandt of Brandt Studios for this virtual filming of the conferring ceremony. To you, the graduates, I have just one last thing to say. Go now and make the most of the qualification you've gained and the life ahead of you. I hope you enjoy and celebrate this very special day with those who are with you now and who I am sure are very proud of what you have achieved. Winigi sult, Niawaines and Laeta and Yuan, Achas and Taylor Tarova Mach Komai. Gramai of Gillier.